Penn State cracked down on Greek organizations after the death of sophomore Timothy Piazza. He died after a drunken fall following an alleged hazing ritual involving forced drinking. 18 Beta Theta Pi brothers face criminal charges after allegedly leaving Piazza injured on the floor for more than 12 hours before calling 911. Penn State University banned the chapter.
This year alone, schools including Loyola University, the University of Central Florida, and the University of Arizona have suspended fraternities after hazing allegations. Judson Horras is president and CEO of the North American Interfraternity Conference. This organization represents 69 men's fraternities, including Beta Theta Pi. He is here for his first TV interview since the Penn State incident. Good to have you at the table, Judd. Let's start with the Penn State incident, because that, for most people, was so egregious, shocking, and made people very angry. As you know, we spoke with the Piazza family. And the father said, Jim Piazza said, listen, this isn't boys being boys. This was a murder of our son. As Norah mentioned, Timothy was left laying there for 12 hours before people got help. What responsibility do you think your organization holds for the death of this boy?
Well, there's no doubt it went from a fraternity situation of binge drinking and hazing into, after the fall, a completely unacceptable reflection on humanity. Those students should be held fully accountable. We fully support that process. And it's also driving a reflection period for all fraternities and, frankly, all campuses in higher education. I've been called countless times since this talking about the issue of binge drinking and hazing. But specific to what happened those 12 hours after, there is no reason, there is no excuse. There's going to have to be a lot of reflection around how do we balance amnesty and how do we balance firm expectations and making sure students feel safe to call for help, but at the same time, having expectations that it's unacceptable behavior.
Does fully accountable mean the possibility of criminal charges?
We encourage criminal charges. Now, granted, they need to go through their process, but we think the state laws on hazing need to and should be enforced fully to combat hazing. It won't fix it all. There's many other opportunities and ways to get at this problem, but we encourage that level of accountability in our system.
Penn State told us that across the country, fraternity chapters, alumni boards, and national fraternity organizations through the self-governance model have failed to bring an end to excessive drinking, hazing, sexual assault. You represent these fraternities. Why is there still this level of drinking allowed at fraternities?
Here's the reality of what we face on college campuses. You have the drinking law, and then you have the reality of the students. And we are caught in a very challenging position to ensure safety, have honest dialogue about where they are, enforce policies. But when it comes down to it, what works best and where we find success is when administrations and national organizations from the grass tops work with the student culture, which is at the grassroots.
Do you acknowledge it's not working?
Yeah.
I acknowledge that there's issues on campus and in certain fraternities, and those issues need to be directly met.
There have been 60 deaths over 8 years involving fraternity activities. There should be zero tolerance. There should be immediate action on this. It is unacceptable. This is murder.
Exactly. We have banned it over and over again. The challenge we've got is 1,800 students on college campuses died from alcohol poisoning last year. This is bigger than just fraternities. Now, we have to take responsibility. We have to lead the culture change on campuses. We are 100% behind that. But the system that we're operating in is challenging as well. So again, where we make progress is when the students engage in...
As you know, there's a growing call for the end of fraternities on college campuses because of just the kinds of things that Norah was talking about.
We need to ban the behavior and ban those students that get involved in that, including the chapters.
Let me read you this. Most of the individuals or their attorneys have not yet committed on the allegation, but one attorney said the state is placing, quote, an impossible burden on the young men and assuming they could tell the difference between extreme intoxication and a life-threatening injury. What do you say to that?
Look, there are thousands of fraternity men who see people injured and make a phone call in those moments. I respond with, I don't know the specifics there, but when someone is injured, this is not about fraternity, this is about humanity. So my response is, let the criminal process play out for that. In the meantime, we need to work with students to set firm expectations. This behavior has been banned. Work with them to create the culture change at the grassroots level, so the top of the administration and their policy and expectations.
But students don't seem to be able to police themselves, though, Judd, here. That's the issue. They're not policing themselves.
There is no doubt that we have issues with accountability and self-governance, but there are thousands of examples where they do step in, where they do. Governor Kasich was just talking about the role of parents, the role of making good decisions. The most important governing.
Thank you so much for coming forward. We got
We're up against the clock. Thank you, Judd.
Here it is.